We've got a great conversation right now with Seth Elsen, Program Development Lead for the Hood Canal Salmon Enhancement Group, the Salmon Center. Also on the air with me this morning, Tamara Cowles from the Salmon Center. She's the Stewardship Manager. Good morning to you both.
Hey, how's it going?
Happy New Year. Good to see you guys. And,
Same to you.
It's already the 24th of January.
Can you believe it?
Amazing. What have you guys already been able to work on with the Salmon Center?
Yeah, we've been doing a lot. The first step for us in the new year is always kind of looking back on our successes from the past year and what we've accomplished, and we have a lot to celebrate. One of our favorite things from the past year is we were able to reach over 3,500 students this year
Wow.
in the Mason, Jefferson, Kitsap County areas, most of those in Mason County. So that's a really big milestone for us. We did a lot of great habitat restoration work. We placed about 24 log jams in some of our local rivers. We did a lot of invasive weed surveys. We did a big barge removal up on the Dosey Wallop. So we had a lot of cool projects, but it makes us more excited for this year and what we have planned as far as some new projects underway and things like that, and just trying to improve some of our other programs. And so,
Tamara, talk to me a little bit about what a manager of stewardship does.
Well, I do a lot of outreach to landowners. I primarily work with knotweed treatment to control knotweed on streams and rivers in Hood Canal. But I also go out and reach out to landowners to develop other projects. So most of my stuff is to work with landowners.
The knotweed is that's a killer.
Yeah,
Man.
It's horrible.
How has it been? Is it starting to come down? Are landowners willing and
yeah, we have
willing to
really
talk?
good participation. Our organization does 8 rivers and streams on Hood Canal. There's other organizations, the County Weed Coordinator, MCD, Mason Conservation District, which also do work in Mason County. And we have made a lot of headway on the streams and rivers. Unfortunately, it's a really aggressive grower, so it's several years commitment to take care of this. And a lot of landowners, you have to foster that relationship, and then as it grows, they are more open to taking care of it, and they've been really supportive. So.
I'd imagine you can't just kind of come on somebody's land and say, hey, listen, guess what? We're tearing all this stuff out. Trust us, it's no good.
Yep.
Yeah, whatever.
Yeah, and so in our knotweed program, we'll take care of the knotweed, and then we offer free plantings of native plants so to try and fill that gap, that space, so no more invasives can move in and take over.
Are we at a point where the knotweed population is decreasing, staying kind of steady, or are we unfortunately still seeing it increase?
Well, in the rivers we've been treating, we've seen a lot of decrease, definitely making headway, but there's still a lot of streams and rivers that aren't being addressed.
I bet.
And that kind of leads into one of our newer projects, which is a cooperative weed management area for Hood Canal, which is going to be the 3 coordinators, the different counties and the conservation districts, ourselves, another fisheries enhancement group, and the Hood Canal Coordinating Council. We just received a grant. We're going to form a steering committee and solidify our partnerships, share resources, seek funding together, and try and really control knotweed on Hood Canal and not lose that ground we've made, and hopefully gain a little more ground, because it's definitely detrimental to salmon.
Yeah.
And with those combined resources, too, we'll be able to better fight some of our other noxious weeds, too. So not just knotweed, but other things like scotch broom and all sorts of different invasives that
it really gets
in
there and just takes hold, doesn't it?
Yeah.
And the county weed coordinators are a great resource, even for landowners to get a hold of to figure out what to do on their land. Our county weed coordinator, Pat Grover, is very talented, and I mean the problem for most of us is we don't have a lot of funding. So the idea of pooling our resources together, not just for weed coordinators' expertise, but everyone working together is the way we're going to take care of it. Yeah.
What else is the Salmon Center up to this year?
Yeah, we've got some other big projects. One of them is forage fish. So a lot of people aren't necessarily very familiar with forage fish, but we've got things like sand lance and herring. And forage fish provide really important food for a lot of our salmon, as they're cruising along the coastline. And unfortunately, we don't really know a whole lot about them as far as their behavior, their spawning, things like that. And so we recently received some funds to do some beach surveys. So starting up this spring, we're going to start conducting a monthly beach survey on numerous sites throughout Hood Canal, and we'll be training up some volunteer help for that. but that'll be a really exciting project. And
Yeah, that's a great project. It fills a data gap. I mean, there's not a lot of knowledge known about where they are spawning, so once we can determine where they are spawning, you can look at conservation or restoration efforts at that spot.
Wow.
Yeah.
Isn't that something?
yeah, and then we've also got some work up on the Duckbush River that might be of interest. You know, it's right up on the county line and a nice area of recreation for a lot of us here down in Mason County, and so we've got some work planned there. And
Yeah, the Jefferson Land Trust had done some work on this same area in the Duckbush, and there's a little side channel of the river, and it's cut off from the river during warm times, but at high river events, water will get over there and fish can get trapped there. So we want to reconnect it, and not only will it stop them getting trapped, but it'll allow the baby fish, to swim up there if there's a lot of current and get out of the current, a little safe refuge for them. So it's something that I think we're working with Mason Conservation District on to move forward on getting that.
And it can help alleviate high flows to an extent too, as far as flooding. You know, it gives just a little bit more space for that water to disperse
kind of
into.
Filter out instead of.
Wow, that sounds like a pretty cool project too.
Yeah, so those are just a couple of our projects coming up just in the greater Mason region.
And I'm sure you could use volunteer help.
Oh, yeah.
Always, yeah.
As always.
Yeah, so like I said, with the forage fish surveys, for instance, that's something we're going to really rely on volunteers for. You know, we're hoping to kind of get all of our stuff in place here in the next month or two, and then, like I said, start surveys later this spring. So any help we can get, just, you know, there's going to be a lot of sites, and so it's really informal, just a half hour at each site, or, you know, whatever you can do, but we'll definitely could use the help for those. Outside of that, we've always got a lot going on at our farm, a lot of maintenance stuff this time of the year, trying to fix things after the winter and the fall storms, and then soon we'll be moving back into our bigger fish projects, so like the Hood Canal Steelhead Project, things like that.
Yeah.
Lots of good stuff from the Salmon Center
Yeah.
for sure. You can find out more at the Hood Canal Salmon Enhancement Group and the Salmon Center up in Belfair, right there on State Route 3. Seth Elsen, Tamara Cowles, thank you so much for coming
Thank you.
on.
Thanks for having us.
Do you know you have access to the fastest internet in Washington State? Switch to iFiber Communications right now and take advantage of our special offers. Pay only $29.95 for 100 megabit high-speed internet, or get 3 months of internet absolutely free. That's right, $29.95 for 100 megabit speeds or 3 months of internet free. Shop, stream, and game like never before with iFiber Communications high-speed internet. Call 360-427-4000 or check us online at ifiber.tv. Subject to credit approval, valid on a 24-month contract.